Paul Holmes.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. And it is a pleasure to wind up this debate on behalf of the official opposition and on the importance of our coastal communities, of which my own constituent in Hamble Valley is a proud member. These communities are rich in history, industry and natural beauty, but also communities facing significant challenges. While these areas are home to thriving tourism, fisheries and local businesses, they continue to struggle with economic inequality, housing pressures and environmental concerns. It is our duty to ensure that coastal communities receive the attention that they deserve. And in that spirit, can I congratulate the Honourable Gentleman, the member for North Norfolk, in securing this debate. His opening speech was a speech that clearly shows that he is committed to his constituency and deeply cares for the people that he represents. Many honourable members today have touched on the unique and impressive heritage of their respective coastal communities, from their evolution as trade hubs, shipbuilding harbours, bases for fishing fleets and tourist destinations to the modern and diverse settlements that they make up today. And I hope honourable members and you, Madam Deputy Speaker, will permit me a minor indulgence as I add homage to my constituency, my coastal constituency in Hamble Valley. Straddling the Hamble River, from which it gets its name, the communities which line this strip of the Hampshire coastline are as venerable as they are beautiful. Snaking down from charming Curbridge, past beautiful Bursledon and stunning Swanwick, all the way down to Hill Head into the Solent, past scenic marinas and yacht clubs, and many wonderful pubs which, as the weather warms up, as I'm sure all members across this House will be, and as the sun comes out, I will be pleased to visit more often. It's a hard life in Hamble Valley, and being the MP for Hamble Valley, but someone has to live it. But it's not all about blue skies and calm waters all of the time. As members have said, there are challenges facing coastal communities, and we cannot ignore their impacts. And like my constituency, coastal towns and villages struggle with restricted accessibility from poor transport links and increasing environmental risks, higher than average unemployment, compounded by seasonable job instability, disparities in housing income, lower education attainment and the upward mobility of skilled workers, causing a brain drain and further exacerbating all of these issues. Part of these problems stem from the fact that there is currently no national strategy for coastal areas. Coastal towns are usually low population areas and are often conflated with rural areas, which obscures their unique challenges. And as we have touched on, coastal communities are already grappling with the economic inequality, and yet this government continues to burden them with further. Average annual pay in coastal towns is £4,700 lower than the rest of Great Britain, and their national growth rates are much lower despite the historical industrial and commercial strengths that they have exhibited in the past. Now they face tax increases, declining support for high streets and rising employment costs, which threaten to undo years of progress in just a matter of months. Instead of fostering economic growth, we are seeing policies that stifle local businesses and weaken our high streets. If we look, for example, at the government's hike in employees' national insurance contributions to 15%, we can see the fallout that these poor economic choices deliver. Businesses I have spoken to, including pubs and restaurants in my constituency, who rely on seasonal tourism, which are already struggling with high costs, are now having to make difficult decisions about laying off staff, not taking on more staff, and in extreme circumstances closing venues. This is the exact opposite of what our local businesses need. And the government says its first priority is on delivering growth. Yet the policies they have enacted, that they've chosen to implement, are going to bring about yet more economic uncertainty, financial worry and labour market instability in these coastal communities. And with the government's recent housing algorithm changes too, we're also seeing dramatic increases in housing targets in coastal communities. In coastal communities near Hamble Valley, such as the New Forest, Fareham and Gosport, we are seeing targets rise by up to 105%. Cornwall, Dorset, Somerset and North Yorkshire are all being tasked with delivering thousands of new homes, yet infrastructure and public services are not keeping pace. Many of our coastal communities depend on a strong and sustainable fishing industry. The last government worked hard to strip EU-imposed quotas that constrained our fishing fleets. However, this government continued pursuit of closer alignment with the European Union raises serious concerns about access to UK waters post-2026. The last government made significant investment in our coastal communities. Through the Coastal Communities Fund, £229 million was invested in 369 projects, creating over 7,000 jobs and bringing more than 3 million visitors to our coastal areas. Further, the Future High Streets Fund, Town Deals and Levelling Up Fund and the UK Shared Prosperity Fund provided much-needed support to local economies. These initiatives renewed town centres, safeguarded businesses and created thousands of training opportunities. But today we see no commitment to continuing these funds. The current government has already announced that there will be no new funding for the Towns Fund, which I would think is a betrayal of the commitments made to our coastal communities. Madam Deputy Speaker, coastal communities are an integral part of our national identity, and yet they continue to be overlooked by this government. Instead of supporting local businesses, they raise taxes. Instead of investing in our high streets, they cut funding. Instead of protecting our fishing industry, they seek closer ties with the EU that threaten our independence. It is time for this government to change course. We must ensure fair housing policies, sustained economic investment, a strong and independent fishing industry and robust flood defences. Our coastal communities deserve better, and I urge this House to take action to protect their future.